will be moving into the champ bracket, playing someone who did maybe not so great in pool play.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, but the thing is if you can lose and then come back up through the losers bracket, that just shows, even more sort of survivability. I mean, events like this are all about stamina. So whoever can actually come back through that losers bracket has a ton of it. They're going to be a challenge for whoever wins this match here.
Absolutely. And so we are on the right-hand side of the map vertically, and I've seen a lot of players go after, actually I was about to say, go after cloaked banshees on this map. They're very, very effective. A lot of airspace that they can kind of traverse, use the cliff lines and things like that to pick off Marines. Artist actually putting down gas first. That could very well tell us just super, super fast, fastest possible Hellions. Yeah. But more than likely, as of late, it has indicated cloaked banshees.
Well, yeah, ever since the Hellion nerf in 1.4, it's definitely been a lot more popular again to go for the banshees rather than the early blue flame now, although Terran players are still kind of debating whether it's worth it to get it early or not yet. And we were talking about this during the break too. Rain Artist is definitely the type of player that likes to get in there early, do as much damage as he can, get that early lead through hindering his opponent rather than just trying to out-macro them and out-position them.
Mm-hmm. And so here we have it now. The barracks just about ready to finish up. We're about halfway done now for Artist. So he's going to be a little bit behind in that regard. But of course, he wants to get up that nice early amount of gas, already past 100 as a matter of fact. Although, you know what? It's kind of interesting noting this. The refinery coming up first with the 5 additional seconds on the barracks build time, and the barracks would be done by now, a little bit ago actually, and that factory would have already been started, but that actually represents a pretty significant increase in amount of time that it takes for that factory to come down, and a lot of resources banked.
It really does. It's not quite as fast as it used to be. I mean, a lot of Terran players have kind of had to accept that all their openings are going to just be, that much slower, and I think a lot have been able to adapt just fine with it. I mean, obviously in TVT, it's not going to make as much of a difference as in other matchups, but it does slow things down. Like, this Banshee's not going to be out quite as quick as it would be before.
Though, we already have a tech lab coming up for Artists with that factory being constructed, so may not be saving up the gas for that starport after all.
Might be right.
In a second. There it goes. Puma, on the other hand, he is starting with a Reaper. It's going to be able to get into his opponent's base pretty quickly, although this is the version of the map without that nice little Reaper passage in the middle that extends from the third into the main. Yes.
Interesting. So that is going to make it a little bit tougher for that Reaper to really be worthwhile, especially in this position. He can kind of hop up into the natural, but he can't hop up into the main like he wants to. I wonder if he knows about this change, actually. We're going to have to see where he sends that Reaper.
Oh, yeah, because it was rallied into his opponent's base, and then Puma diverted it back down to the bottom right. So now he finally realizes, he was not aware that this is this version of the map.
I guess so, yeah. So he's going to have to be a little bit more creative with the Reaper. And look at that fast blue flame from Rain Artists. I mean, the people out there that are saying, why not get it, basically are saying, oh, poor SCV, that's so sad, but basically saying, it still does that much more damage. It still helps you kill things that much faster, just not quite as fast as it was before. So Rain, obviously one of those Terrans that's okay with getting it early again.
I agree. Because you have a line of, say, 3 Hellions that are making their way down. They're still going to kill units just as quick as they did before, as long as you have at least 3 of them, of course, together. Look at the positioning of these units from Artist. Beautiful, swinging the Hellion around to pick off the Reaper. So Puma, at first, probably a little bit upset that he didn't know what version of the map it was, sending his Reaper to the wrong spot, but can't be happy now losing that Reaper basically for free.
Oh, I know. Now Puma, at the same time, he knows he needs a bunker at the moment. He's seen the Hellions out there, and he doesn't want the Marines to just be sitting there getting cooked. That's no fun at all. So he's going to try to get that up in time, and I think he's going to just barely get it because Rain Artist is being a little bit hesitant. He wanted to wait for the Blue Flame upgrade to complete. It just did. So expect Rain to move into the natural of EG Puma soon, but the bunker's up now, so.
The bunker's up, but Puma has no idea what's coming at him. He saw all the Hellions, yes, but he hasn't scouted any structures. He saw Red Flame Hellions before, so he doesn't know that that's a full-on Blue Flame transition at the moment. He doesn't know if there's a starport in play, so this is actually playing quite blind at the moment.
Yeah, we'll have to see how he reacts to that. I didn't quite catch to see if the Hellions fired at all when he moved in there against the bunkers. I don't think they did.
No.
So like you said, Puma doesn't quite know that it is Blue Flame yet. Maybe, if he would have got a glimpse of the factory, he might have seen the upgrade building, but I don't know if he's really... Yeah, he has seen the factory in the tech lab, so he could have kind of devised that from there.
But all the Hellions are just running by.
Yep, 3 shots do still kill SCV, but that bunker is in such a good place for Puma.
Yeah, it really is. These Blue Flame Hellions not finding as much success as they would like as well, actually getting taken down pretty effectively. Yeah, they roast a few Marines in the process, but that was quite an investment to get all those Hellions plus add in Blue Flame into the mix. So
yeah, absolutely. I mean, you can see right now Puma ahead in supply because of that really early expand here where Rain Artist we saw do a little bit more tech-heavy opening. As things move into the mid-game, though, we'll have to see kind of how that all pans out.
yeah, certainly. Puma already has his starport being added to the mix as well. He's going to slap that on a reactor here in just a second. But he's not really in position with a Tech Lab factory. Well, I guess neither is Artis at the moment, but he is fine with just pumping out Blue Flame Hellions over and over again, adding 2 more barracks to the mix. So off of 2 base already at only 8 minutes and 50 seconds into the game, he's going to be on 5 racks, reactored starport, and still producing Blue Flame Hellions.
Yeah, well, this is really interesting from both of these guys. Both of them got stim relatively early. It looks like Puma just wants to go Marine medevac, which is kind of having this strange resurgence in the TVT metagame ever since, I believe it was MLG Anaheim. I've been seeing more and more Terran players go Marine medevac in TVT, and it's something that, you know, if you go back 6 months ago, people would have kind of, you know, laughed at you a little bit if you would have went that, because everyone was going Marine tank. It was much harder to beat that, but TVT is just such a varied matchup now that a lot of these older strategies are starting to kind of make these appearances again.
Yeah, and you know what, Pain User is actually convinced as well that not only are we going to see that Mass Marine medevac, but we're also going to have a return to super heavy positional siege tank play, and we're going to see a lot of very heavy Marine tank compositions. Here we go, Artis making his way out though. Stim is done for him. He does not have combat shields finished, nor is it on the way. Puma, on the other hand, does have combat shields, so you got to think for every 5 Marines you have on the ground, you basically got an extra free one because of the extra 10 HP for each of those. So makes his units a lot more effective.
Yeah, absolutely here. Now, it looks like Rain Artist wanted to poke a little bit outside the natural, but I mean, Puma is just so well prepared for this, he's probably not going to be able to do too much damage. Looks like it will be Marine tank, but just a really Marine heavy opening of getting to that point. So,
yeah, actually both players just on 1 tank at the moment. Puma does have the advantage through the air. Of course, that Blue Flame technology is still sitting around for Artis should he want to use that, but he is backed by 8 workers, has a slightly larger army at the moment, but of course, as we talked before, that is a little bit less developed.
Well, you know, it's interesting because a lot of the Blue Flame openings we see in TVT right now go into mech play, which is it's still very popular in Korea. A lot of Terrans are doing mech in TVT, but, you know, Puma deciding to go for the bio again, that does kind of fit his style, though, I suppose.
Always amuses me when I see 2 Marines fighting at like super close range. It's like taking
know,
that
they're
many
just, like,
shots to
standing
kill
in
their
front of each
opponent,
other, shooting each
firing an automatic weapon for like 45 seconds straight.
I guess it just shows the strength of that body armor, man. They make that out of some good stuff.
And Puma flying around with his Vikings isn't going to be able to catch any drops yet, though.
Speaking of drops.
Yep, but he is dropping himself, and there's not much here for Artis. Now he's stimming all of his units back from the side.
And that is not going to do a lot of damage. Yeah, just leaving the Marines behind rather than try to pick them up and make a run for it. At least he saves the medevac. He did also kill the SCV building the supply depot, so yeah, it's going to be a bit of an annoyance. And Rain Artist, you know, may not notice. Nope, SCV goes back and starts building it again.
And we do have Puma pushing up to take out his destructible rocks over at the 12 o'clock position. And, you know, these Hellions are actually in a clever little spot. They're going to spot drops that are making their way down. If just a handful of Marines, well, as I say that, of course, he moves his Hellions away, so BM Artist. But, you know, he would be able to pick up on any small group of Marines, should be able to take them out pretty effectively. Marine making its way over to the right-hand side for Artis. Doesn't see a base there for Puma. Looks like he's going to start pushing his way forward.
Yeah, certainly looks that way. I mean, if we look at the supplies right now, too, both players about even. Puma, though, has 1 more tank at the moment. But look at this, a siege up by Artis at the natural. Puma is just in range with the siege tanks. Oh, Rain Artist, a couple of Marines coming out to try to snipe a tank. Doesn't exactly work. In the meantime, a drop for Rain Artist in the natural.
A lot of units get picked up, though.
Yeah.
The Vikings just worth their weight in gold at the moment.
Oh, absolutely.
Artist is still doing some economic damage. How many workers did he kill? Not enough, really. Still backed by 9 workers. Doesn't have the rocks cleared to his 3rd. But, you know, Artist could still find a favorable engagement here, as he does have a few Vikings making their way out. So he will regained control of the skies, but lost a lot of units before it didn't take out all that many tanks.
Yeah, and Puma continuing to produce medevacs as well, so kind of for the moment giving that, oh, there goes Puma. Nice Marine spread, but will it be enough? That's a lot of Marines for Artist as well. Puma knows it. Pulls back. He did manage to snipe a tank or two, and look at that, only one supply difference between these two right now.
You know, he did everything he wanted, though. He picked off 3 tanks and was able to pull back to his own tank cover, as we just saw, just paid for itself as 2 siege tanks rip apart a ton of units. Again, a drop not very successful for Artis. It's cleaned up by Puma's Marines, and just not able to get the kind of damage he wants done. So he is slipping a little bit farther behind in economy. He's also going to be down a base here in a second, as an orbital command did come up.
Yeah, that early expand from Puma is really paying off now. It's allowing him to get that third that much quicker. You know, it's one of those positions, too, where Puma's third is going to be a lot more protected than Artis is as well. So that certainly helps at the same time.
All right, so Puma going to make his way down here in a bit. No, actually, Artis is going to push up. He himself snipes a couple of tanks, then pulls back to his tank cover. So almost what Puma did before, but it works pretty well for Artis. Not able to bait those Marines back a second time, though.
Yeah, it takes such good control with these to do what these guys are doing. You know, not allowing your Marines to run in and die like that.
Okay, looks like Artis is going to make his way up to the top, and I actually think he's going to be able to break through this force. Very nice job. And what I was going to say before, I apologize, I didn't mean to interrupt you, but these siege tanks, look at this one, has 21 kills on it, has actually been doing quite a bit of economic damage, and Artis has pulled ahead in worker count.
Yeah, no kidding. I mean, Puma looked really strong, but Artis just has had a little bit better positioning. He's handled the aggression a little bit better than Puma has handled the defense of it. And this natural is in serious trouble now. Yeah,
but Puma does have a third base up at the moment. There's no such orbital command down for Artis, so he is going to need to outright deny this natural. He has done that for quite a while. Here comes Puma making his way up with a bunch of stim Marines, but those are going to die in clumps as the siege tank cover for Puma is just not there at the moment.
He tried to use the SCVs to buffer some tank damage, and it looks like he's going to barely be able to drive Artis away, but he lost a lot of SCVs in doing that. Rain has killed 32 Artis, that is not the player. That's a different turn. Rain Artis has killed 34 SCVs this game. Not a
that's
bad
pretty
start.
impressive. We have a big drop coming in for Puma, though. Don't know if this has been picked up on yet. Well, now Artis certainly knows about it. Those Marines stimming their way through. I'm sure Artis will turn those around in a second, but he is actually going to lose quite a few workers here.
Oh, so much death. Look at that. The SCV is not even being pulled by Artis.
Oh,
GG.
wow. And
what?
Artis, GG's.
Did that just happen?
I think it did.